In the Mahabharata, I remember the part where Yudhishthira is questioned to check what his knowledge is like. And when they ask him what is the quickest, the fastest thing in the world, he replies that it's the mind. Because there is nothing that moves faster than your own mind. You go from one thought to another thought to another thought to another thought. And you don't even know where your thoughts are. If you think about all the regular activities that you do, say driving to Publix, driving to the grocery store. You drive to the grocery store and you reach. You have no awareness of what happened after you got into the car to the moment that you reached. You don't remember the people that walked by, or the dogs that were, being taken for a walk, or the people on bicycles, or whether the traffic light was working properly, whether you waited 10 seconds or 20 seconds. You just have been in a thought and in another thought and in another thought, one after another, one after another. And before you know it, you're at your destination. So we don't take the time, or we don't even understand how quick our mind is. Yesterday I was listening to Eckhart's, he had done an Eckhart live. It was a 1.5 hour talk, which I highly recommend that you listen to. The essence of everything. And at one point, he's absolutely still, and then he's saying nothing. And he says, don't have to check your phones, if the picture's not gone bad, I just stopped talking. The thing is that we notice this in the masters, that they will give long gaps. And in that gap that they give, they actually are not thinking of what to say next. They're actually slipping into just the silence between thoughts. And when you slip into that silence between thoughts, the words that need to be said come through them. Our minds cannot stay still for a moment because they have a very big job to do. They need to be able to control what you think, who you mix with, where you go, what you do with your life, what you eat, what you drink, which restaurants you go to, which cities you visit, how you travel, which airline you pick. They want to be involved. Your mind wants to be involved and in control of every facet of your life. And in a day, between 20 and 70,000 thoughts come up in consciousness. And what are thoughts? Thoughts are like bubbles. Actually, if you Google what is a thought, I did that and I did not get a satisfactory answer from anywhere. Nobody really knows where thoughts are, where they reside, how they come up, how they just disappear, where they go, and how do they reappear. Nobody knows this. The Vedantic principle is that thoughts always have been. For generations, for years, for centuries, for eons, for As far back as you can remember, people have been thinking and creating energy patterns. Now, depending on what you are feeling, a passing energy pattern grabs your fancy and you say, yeah, I like this. This is a good thought. This thought is mine. So you claim ownership of that thought. And if it is a thought that is a fear-evoking thought, if it is a thought that's an anxiety-driven thought, if it is a thought that's filled with, that makes your pain body rise, and that you feel guilt, you feel anger, you feel all the host of negative emotions, or that thought then becomes an impression. And when that thought becomes an impression, it gets stored in your subconscious. And at random intervals, it's going to just make its appearance. It keeps coming up, it keeps coming up, keeps coming up. And you will recognize that thought as your thought and claim it and give it audience. And the more you give it audience, the more frequently it's going to occur in your life. Now, unconscious people, people that are not aware of their own consciousness, not aware of the awareness that they are, not aware that all thoughts rise and fall in consciousness, they just move through thought ladders, one after another, after another, after another, after another. And before they know it, most thought ladders are stress related, right? Are things that get your fancy, are things that the ego and the intellect can use to get your attention. Okay, so somebody posts on social media or on Facebook, oh, today there were 10,000 new cases of COVID. That's enough. That's enough to spoil your entire day. Right? Because then you're thinking, oh my God, 10,000 cases. All right, maybe I shouldn't be meeting my friends. Maybe I should have gone out. You think, when I went out last week, did I get, was I exposed to someone? Now, what if I am exposing my partner to it or my husband to it? And what if we fall sick? Already you've gone into some unrealistic future. Your thoughts have just roller coasted out of control. And that fear has risen in you. What if I die? What if it happens to me? I don't want it to happen to me. So many people are, it's happening to, I don't want it to happen to me. Now, this is just an example. This is just an example. It could be that you see a photograph of a nice chocolate cake. Right? Oh, that makes you feel so good, so nice, right? But you can't have it. Because you don't have it at home, that means you have to make another trip to the grocery store, or you have diabetes and you shouldn't be having it. That feeling of longing comes up in you. Now we're moving through feelings. This is how we're conditioning our mind, okay? This thought pattern of chocolate cake is my longing one. This thought pattern of COVID cases is my fear-filled one. This thought pattern of being of not turning up for an exam is my childhood one. It's my memory. So we classify all our thoughts, although we may not realize it, into little baskets in our brain, right? And certain thoughts bring up certain emotions, always. And this is what Eckhart refers to as your pain body. So whenever there are thought patterns going on, this pain body will keep rising. And what happens during meditation, and this is why we meditate, okay? First, I tell you to relax and I tell you to focus on something, right? It could be your breath, it could be the top of a mountain, it could be the tip of your nose, right? So your thoughts have gone, your awareness has gone to that. In a few minutes after you've completely relaxed, your body is relaxed, everything is going down, and your mind has wandered off. and you're thinking, okay, as soon as she finishes, I'm really feeling hungry. I should have heated the food in advance. Maybe I should eat next time. I'll eat before. Before you know it, you're already in the food, in the fridge, in Publix, and in back to the chocolate cake, right? So when you get that awareness, oh my God, I'm thinking of something else, that is the second stage of meditation. And that is important. Different neurons in your brain fire when that happens. That when you get that awareness, oh my God, I'm in another stage. Then you bring your mind back to the meditative focus, and that's the third stage. When you got back, there are different neurons. If you had your head connected to an EEG machine, and they have done it with people, there are four stages. The first is when you first begin your meditation. The second is when the thoughts arise. Something else is firing. When you get awareness of thought, something else is firing. When you come back to the meditation, again another part of your brain is firing. So these four processes are taking place in your brain without you realizing it, and bringing you back to the moment. Each time you do that, you're being pulled into deeper and deeper states of consciousness. So the trick of getting rid of a restless mind is to recognize it. We don't even know. There is zero awareness. The whole world is completely unconscious. They're completely outside in this world, going from one activity, one experience, one thing to another. When you're always in the midst of an activity, if you're continually doing back-to-back Zoom calls, where is the chance for your mind to develop this technique of awareness? The more you develop that technique, the longer will be the gap between thought ladders. The more connected you are to your source, the better ideas emerge, the better you are out in this world. So it is crucial for you to make a practice of this. You don't even know this when you're meditating. You don't even recognize it when you're meditating. But this is happening. There is something deep happening as you focus on your meditation, move to a thought, move back from the thought to the focus of meditation, and again get deep. Each time you do this, you're getting awareness of what you're thinking about. And then it doesn't end there, right? It begins with meditation. And then you take that awareness into your daily life, and you wake yourself up every time you're in that pattern. Oh my God, I'm not doing well, I need someone to help me. If that's your thing, someone needs to help me out of this, you catch yourself and say, no. You change that into something positive and affirmative. I am the embodiment of all decisions. It begins and ends with me. So you've got that familiar thought pattern that makes your self-esteem go down, and you've replaced it with something positive. But if you don't even know that you're thinking that, where is the chance of replacing it? Right? So we cannot deal with a mind with another thought. We can only deal with it with awareness. Aha, this thought happened. And as you do that, it bursts like a bubble. It just bursts. And where does it go? It goes back to where it came from, into pure consciousness. Everything appears in consciousness and goes back into consciousness. For a while, you borrow these and say, these are mine. These are my thoughts. These are my special thoughts. These are my attitudes. This is what I grew up with. This is my culture. These are my values. This is what my mom taught me. This is what my friends do. This is the cool thing to do. You borrow thought patterns from what's out there, and you say, this is mine. And then it goes back. And the wise, they understand nothing is theirs. It never was. It never ever was. These thoughts that you're so moved by, that the other values and principles you stand by, they come and they go, they come and they go. They die every minute. And you can decide, you can control which thoughts you want to welcome into your home and which thoughts you want to release. But in order to do that, you have to meditate to create that awareness. So now when you go back into your life and that thought comes up, it doesn't grip you so seriously. It doesn't make you feel, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? It just says, oh, here it is again. And it's released. Just by recognition itself, it is released. And that is how you live your life happy, completely at peace, not, buffeted by your thoughts, not becoming a creature of your mind, not becoming a puppet of other people's ideas. This is how you deal with a restless mind. You recognize that they're just all thoughts are just borrowed, just for a while, and they return into consciousness. And with that attitude, let's go into meditation. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you like the content, hit the red subscribe button. I'm also on Facebook on my author page, Kanchana Krishnan Iyer, and I'm also on Instagram. See you there. I'll link it down below.